Hey everybody, we're back with another episode of How to Play Minetest. In this episode, we're going to do something a little bit different. Inevitably, as you are playing Minetest, you will end up spawning somewhere that looks a little bit like this. Desert, as far as the eye can see. So, what do? There aren't a whole lot of trees around. Lots of sand monsters. So how do you deal with this kind of a starting position? So that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode. This was, I think, the third world I created, and I spawned on this very spot right here. And this is what I saw. Sand monsters coming at me and lots of sand. And that's tough. Where do you go from here? Where do you start? Well, the first thing, obviously, that you need is some way to protect yourself from the sand monsters. So what I did was I dug this little canal thing in between where I spawned and the mainland. So when the monsters come in, they hit the water, they go away. Because when sand touches water, sand monsters disappear. So that was the first thing I had to do. The next thing I had to do was figure out some way to build something. And the easiest way to do that is with sandstone. So I've got a bunch of sand here that I gathered up, and sandstone is simply putting up 4 blocks like that, and it can be desert sand or regular sand, which is over here, which I call beach sand because that's where you find it, is next to water. So you can do 4 of either of those, and that will give you sandstone. So this will give us bunch of sandstone that I can use to build stuff with now. And so I would use the sandstone to then build my building. I don't like using sand because gravity affects sand and it does not affect sandstone. So that gives you a little more leeway when you're trying to build things like a window or a door that you don't want the gravity to have an effect. Now later I was able to go get some nice cobblestone from another location here, but to start out with, you got sand. So I first built my sandstone, and I also built a sand rescue tower, which that one wasn't as critical. You can see this corner is sand where the rest of this is sandstone, where gravity is actually a good thing on a rescue tower. I went ahead and built it full height using sand so I wouldn't have to lose as much time building that up. And I think I tried to jump off in the water and missed, and well, you know how that goes. So the next thing I had to do was get some way to do the harder stuff here. So this is where full viewing range comes in, and way over in the distance here I saw mountains and dirt, which typically means trees. So I had to swim all the way over there, find some trees, and I also dug up some dirt and, whoops, there we go, and brought it back here and planted the saplings just right here. So I can plant, not very many, just 4 trees right here to get wood. So that way I was able to build tools, and once you build your basic wooden pickaxe, you can start digging out the cobblestone just right here, then you can get a cobblestone pickaxe, and off you go from there. Now, the other thing you want to do is build a sword early on so that you can fight sand monsters. I took the liberty, if you will, of wandering through this desert, fighting sand monsters, and if you look way over here in the corner, you can see another rescue tower of another base that I built over there. Rather than having to deal with sand monsters the entire time, I chose to dig down instead and go underneath everything. So we're going to go on a nice little tour here of a basement pathway that I built, and I had to use the map mod for this because there was no way I was going to find my way to that other house just on my own. So at the other house I dug a staircase down so I would be down in the ground levels, and then I came back to this one and started digging through here. So we'll take you on a quick tour here. It's a very long tunnel. So right here I must have found some ore or something, and I also came under the desert stone, which means now I'm under desert. I'll keep cruising along here. Another spot, I must have found some ore or iron or something. Right there. And somewhere right here is actually the center of the map. Pretty close here. Might have passed it already. Yeah, looks like it. So we get up to here and you can see we're right underneath desert stone. So we're in the thick of the desert here. And slowly working our way up till we get to the right level. If you don't have the... Oh, missed a step there. If you don't have the map mod installed, you can also just get your coordinates up in the corner here so that you know what level to dig down to. The middle number is how far underground you are. So we're at the other house in the basement, and if I remember right, I changed it out for a elevator because it was just taking up too much room. There we are. Cool. So this is the other house, and there's all kinds of trees here to get wood and build things with. Looks like I started building a palisade here. Oh, there's a sand monster. So it came out real quick. And there was also water over here and all kinds of things that was just useful to have. So I built this second base here so I could have access to all these other things, and then I brought sand here, and then I take wood and dirt back to the other base, the original spawn base, because if you don't have the bed mod, you're going to spawn at the same spot every single time. So it's nice to have tools and things that you need there already, which is why I built that one. Up to the second floor here, where they have window panes now. I could take this glass out and get a lot more mileage out of my glass by replacing it with the glass window panes. And right here's the safety tower that we saw from the other angle. I'll keep building this up as I play, and eventually, yep, there's my other tower right there. So I know if I want to cut across to overtop through the desert, I know which direction to go. Oops. Keep messing that up. So anyway, that's how you start when you spawn in the desert. Is you have to find wood, you have to find dirt, and you have to find saplings so that you can have your own wood supply there. You use the sand or desert sand to make sandstone, so you can build whatever you need to protect yourself or start building a house. And then once you find somewhere else that has the resources you need, like more trees and water and things like that, then you can build a second house there and then connect the two with a tunnel so that you skip all the desert stuff in between. If you don't have the simple mods or simple mobs mod installed, so you don't have sand people, this isn't as big a deal. But if you do have it installed, it's a pretty big deal. When the very first thing that happens to you is you have all these monsters pouring down on top of you. So hopefully this gives you guys some ideas on how to start in a desert spawn world. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and we will catch you guys next time. Until then, go build something.